Hey out there in YouTube land, it's Kuda Slayer once again. Kind of a bit of another product review here. Uh, in about the last couple of weeks or so, I've had a lot of trouble keeping my work area organized, and normally I'm usually doing better, but kind of all the number of paints and bits and bobs I have on my desk here, it's kind of just got out of hand. So I decided to break down and buy a couple of paint racks. And of course, what I did as everyone else would. I went online and I found this particular set right here from a company called The Broken Token. And hopefully, you can look at that. I don't know, the lighting doesn't seem to be all that great today. Also, take note. This is their 35 millimeter straight unit. This is a 35 millimeter, means it's set up compared to the other ones to actually hold the Games Workshop size paint pots, or at least the current generation thereof. Although it's a little bit larger than it probably should be, but it's workable. As you can see, it holds about 28 paints and number of paint brushes. It's typical MDS laser cut board, as a lot of things you can find online, especially terrain and other how should I say, utilities like this. One thing I saw when looking around, I bought these on Amazon, and I think I paid about $23 a piece for each of these, and they're not bad. I mean, if you do it right and everything's perfectly cut, they're fairly sturdy. I would even go as far as you don't need to glue these, at least the experience I've had. But you probably may want to just go ahead and just crazy glue them anyway. It's pretty decent. It's sturdy. I mean, if you're not, of course, Games Workshop paint, or most paint pots in general for most gaming uses, are not going to be all that heavy, and so you're not. You're not going to be standing on this. Bottom line, it's sturdy enough to hold, several different all your paints and brushes, and but I would still recommend going ahead, just put some super glue on here. I would even go further, and if you really want to make these really sturdy, I would recommend getting some like dowel rods or wood shims, especially like an 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch square, and just cut several pieces and just kind of put them like right spots, like right here or right there, just to give a little bit more surface, or so you can glue the pieces together and have everything hold. With it being MDS board, over time MDS will absorb water out of the air, or just in general, you probably might spill water on it one way or the other, and it will sometimes expand. One way to get around this would be just to spray paint it, like get a decent enamel. After adding some more reinforcement to this, I probably will be spray painting mine. But the other thing is, when I was one thing that almost stopped me from getting this is when I was looking at all the reviews, some people complained about the fitting on all the pieces and everything be kind of poor, or having trouble assembling them. I didn't really have any trouble with this at all. Actually, I was able to put this together in about less than 5 minutes. See, do I want to push my luck? No. That's kind of the bad thing about saying something like that, and then you wind up eating your words. But, what the heck, let's give it a shot. Anyway, last shot of this. This is what it's supposed to look like. Let's see how bad the second one turns out. Here's, you guys, how many boards you got? You got 4 boards. Everything's pre-cut. And kind of typical, whenever you see anything that's mass-produced with a laser cut MD board, you do see a lot of bird marks. This is more of a cosmetic issue. And there's a lot of outgassing must have happened here when, or they had the power too high on the laser. And then another thing is, you can put several of these units together, and using little clips like this. This is, I haven't punched these out yet, but this is what they look like when you take them off the board. You can, just, that's kind of like a nice little thing. And they also do have some other options that go with this, as well as other like corner pieces. If you have a kind of odd setup, or even some drawers that will fit with these, I'm kind of considering getting those. I mean, overall, I'm happy with this. I'm sure I can get at least a couple of years of use out of this unless I go crazy and decide to reorganize everything once again, or be forced to move. Personally, I'd rather have an insurance fire than have to move again. Anyway, and also you notice I'm not using the instructions because I'm a man. I'm stupid that way. And also I have I've already had some experience putting the first one together. So, one other thing you may not have already noticed, that the arrangement on this is some rows have 6 while some other rows have 5. That can be a little annoying, but I found it kind of goes against my aesthetic, my sense of aesthetics. So that's just a personal critique. Let's see. Okay, this is the top part. Of course, they conveniently put their URL there in case you need to order again, or your friends come by and want to know where you got everything. Let's see, 6. So I got 6 there, 5 there. Is this 6, 5, 6? There's the bottom piece, and that's under that. I probably should use a stopwatch of this. And again, there's more of that outgassing that happened when they were cutting these. It's mostly cosmetic. There's no real true damage to the wood. So, also, kind of one little thing I've noticed about these is, I hope you can see that. Focus! There we go. If you notice on the tab here, there's kind of a little bit of a neat feature. They got a little bit of a slice cut down on each end. If you have any kind of problems with fitting, you probably can cut those off and not have any, or make the fitting a little better. Because Lord knows, whenever you do anything multiple times, you can screw something up at least once. And also I have a tip. It'll come up here in a second. So there's 6. And there's 5. And so far, so good. Yeah. Main secret is not to rush anything. There we go. Now here comes a bit of a tricky part. I at this point I'm going to stress, this is probably where most people will have a problem. Just go slow and do everything one at a time. Now this one I can sort of feel the tension on some of these pieces. There we go. It's not as tight as I would like it to be. Seriously. The joy of having cell phones, isn't it? Okay. Okay, I'm beginning to be made a liar out of. Let me just take care of that real quick. Okay, so I'm not going to go all NASCAR in this and prove any speed records. But hey, the best mistakes to learn from is somebody else's. Okay, now this is my recommendation. You know, you wonder why Thunder Hammers and 40K work so well. Just a few good light taps, or even if you want, I would recommend taking a paper tablet and I would recommend a mallet instead of an actual hammer. The difference between a mallet and a hammer is that mallets are designed to pound on things, but deform and try not to damage them when you're doing it, while a hammer is just pure blunt force. So that's why they call it thunder hammers, not thunder mallets. Okay. Except for the burn marks, everything looks pretty good. Everything's fairly tight. Ta-da! So, let's play around with it a little here. Okay, as you can see, just throw on a few bunch of these. And some of these are empty, so you're not going to get the full weight capacity. It's kind of funny. Normally I keep these in a tackle box, but unfortunately I got so many of them now I'm overfilling tackle box, and whenever I'm painting anything, I'm certainly realizing exactly how many different colors I might use at any given time. So that's kind of adding to some of the issues I was having with my keeping my desk organized. So, you see the weight of the paint's not making it creak or making it bow down or anything. And again, I would recommend getting some wood shims and just cut a couple small pieces to fit in certain areas, just to give a little bit more surface area to hold everything together when you glue it. I might put a picture later on my on the blog spot to kind of show you what I did. But let's see, where is it? As I said, you can take a couple of these or any other of their special units, other shapes and such, and put them together, and you can have quite an extensive rack put together. And so far, I'm pretty happy. For some of the thicker handle paintbrushes, I have like this 20, which is basically an eyelash on a fatter brush handle. It'll fit right there. And I got several different sizes, so you don't have to worry too much about if you have like specialized brushes or anything. You got at least a choice of everything. And these little little thicker holes, I would think those were for another size brush, but none of the pictures they include really show anything what they're used for, but maybe a pen vise or something, or even just pencils. Who knows? It's your paint rack. You use it the way you need to use it. So anyway, so one other last question. Let's get some measurements on these guys. 12 inches. This is just shy of 10 inches widthwise. Height-wise, about 6 3/4, and sticking out all the way about 8 1/2. So, doesn't take up too much real estate on your desk, and once you get it in place or get it how you want to do, there's it gives your desk or workbench the facade of looking organized. So, because we all know nothing but chaos happens on these workbenches of ours. So anyway, this is Kuda Slayer signing off. I'll see y'all next time.